Well, hello, everybody. This will just be the entire video. We're just gonna sit here like Teletubbies.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's one of those nights. Alrighty, it looks like we've got Aaron, Casey, Mona, and our League of Decency, Emily, in the comments section already. So if anybody else is there, hello! But hello, guys. Thank you so much for coming to our silly live stream of vintage classy chicks, vintage flicks, classy chicks.
I always get it backwards.
Yeah. Whatever we are classy. And the videos are vintage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I'm technically vintage, right? I think I'm considered vintage.
Yeah. And we have Body Image Guru. Hello, hello, hello. As always, my name is Jennifer on YouTube here. I am a Vintage Vanity. And with me, as always, are my two better halves, I guess better thirds, would that be? And we have Heather, if you want to say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And we have JL from Modern Retro Gal.
Hi.
She did the classic, hi. Oh. Oh. JL's bringing out her vintage nerd tonight, which we love.
Me?
Yeah, with your vintage Star Wars t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. I changed really quick when we were having technical difficulties because I was like, ooh, the other one was making me look not cute.
Well, Star Wars will always make you look cute.
Not very glamorous tonight as it is, and the other one was making me look a little frumpy, so.
Well, there you go. I went with to kind of channel Miss Hepburn. I went with a very buttoned up look for the night. My hair up. So who knows, by the end of it, I may be covered in swamp water and, you know.
Throw a little mud.
Should be open up a little bit. We'll show a little chest. Apologize. Can we repeat the channel names? My channel is Vintage Vanity. The lovely Heather in Purple is How to Be Fancy. And then we have our Star Wars gal is JL from Modern Retro Gal.
Yeah.
And tonight we're going to be talking about, I think, what is it they called it? The greatest adventure ever filmed. And that is The African Queen, which is considered to be one of, I think in 2009, they classified it as the 17th most important film, you're welcome, in our film history, that it captures a segment of of our America at that time. Erin is saying in Mrs. Doubtfire's voice, hello! I think that was her voice, right?
Mm-hmm. More or less.
I remember it being very up there. So after we today I am the researcher for the movie, just going to go through a couple little facts about it, and then we just chat about it. So as we go, feel free in the comment section below to respond to any of the questions. Put your thoughts about the movie in there as well. We love talking to you guys as we go. But it is, The African Queen was filmed in Technicolor, which was fun because we do a lot of black and whites here on the channel. So it was nice to see something in color. It is from 1951. It was directed by John Huston, I believe is how you say his last name. And he famously has done a gazillion movies. He did The Maltese Falcon, which was also with Humphrey Bogart. Treasure of Sierra Madre, which was also with Mr. Bogart. I think the guy had a little boy crush on him, to be quite frankly. He also did Key Largo, Asphalt Jungle, which is said to actually be the film that launched Marilyn's career. And he did a lot more from that as well. But what he was really known for is making films that were based off of novels. And This one is based off of a C.S. Forester novel, which I'm sorry, every time I have to remind myself that it's not E.M. Forester, who is one of my favorite authors, who did Room with a View, which was one of my absolute favorite movies. So I'm like, no, not the same person. But he was famous for the Horatio Hornblower series. So a lot of what he's done is all based off of seafaring adventures, which of course this was. Katharine Hepburn was nominated for her 4th Oscar award for this. Humphrey Bogart actually won his only Oscar in his entire career for this movie. I don't know what it is, but I'm obsessed with finding out how old these people were when they did these movies. I know, right? Because they always talk about how Hollywood has always been like geared towards the younger people. So when you see a movie that's sent around somebody who is not obviously in their 20s, to me it's kind of fun. And Catherine was 44 at the time, and Bogey was 52, I believe 52. And sadly, and I don't know why this sticks in my head, but this was 6 years before he was to pass. I don't know why that I don't know. It's one of those things like it's coming. But he did work actually up until like the year right before he passed. But it's just kind of sad to think, I don't know, he's so vibrant. Mm-hmm. Here I am bringing it down already.
Listening to like Depeche Mode and Morrissey before you started?
Apparently I did. And then to make myself really sad, I watched some David Bowie videos.
Oh no! Wow.
Yeah.
Bringing it real down today.
Yeah. Make you bastards cry, I am. Well, what was kind of groundbreaking about this film is that about 50% of it was filmed in Africa. It was filmed in the Congo and Uganda. And but of course, anytime you see them in the water, it's actually filmed in a water tank in London because it was considered to be too dangerous. I know Jail's going to love this little fact. Disney actually based the Jungle Cruise off of this movie. And watching it, I can definitely see how that would be the case.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
This is also where Lauren Bacall and Katharine Hepburn fell in love with each other and kind of solidified their friendship, took it to the next level, because Lauren was there kind of taking care of everybody, kind of cooking, making cookies for people. Let's see, what else? This was a really, really funny fact, is that John Huston had hired some locals to help with the crew to do things, but some of the locals didn't show up because they were worried that the filmmakers could be cannibals.
I thought that was hilarious when I read that.
I know. Talk about flipping the switch, right? They and our League of Decency, Emily, will be happy to know that they did have an issue with 2 characters who cohabitated without the formality of marriage. Mm-hmm. But of course, our modern Legion would be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
The couple other things real quick before we get is one of the other things is what John Huston told Katharine Hepburn as how to play her part, and because I know we'll probably talk about this, is that he basically told her to base the character of Rosie on Eleanor Roosevelt when she's visiting hospitals with the wounded soldiers, and always has to have that hopeful smile on her face. And she felt that if Rosie was a sister of ministry, then her approach to everything would be full of hope and a smile. And she said it was the best direction of her life. The last bit of thing before we get to hearing somebody else talk, actually we'll go through the comments because I see a bunch coming through there, is that the African Queen herself, she really was, it was a trio of co-stars in that movie, and the boat, it definitely was. It actually was a true in-service boat. It was not made for the movie. It was built in 1912. It was called the S.L. Livingstone. Livingston was a different thing. But I think it's funny because after the movie, they actually changed the name of the boat to the African Queen, which, ooh, is something you're never supposed to do. It's supposed to be bad luck if you change the name of a boat. But apparently, this boat doesn't give any bleeps because it has gone on to have an amazing career. It was brought to the United States in 1968. It went to like the Queen's 90th birthday. It went over to England for it, like it was a guest. And it has actually been restored in the 2000s and is actually right now in service in Key Largo. I kind of feel bad for it because now it's like working as a dinner cruise ship now. Like, I was a movie star, people.
Do you even know who I am?
Fire, but they don't have enough money, so they have to go work at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's been reduced to.
Oh,
He was a child actor.
yeah. The cause of, yes, Emily is right. Aaron, the cause of Bowie's death was a very sad death from cancer. Body image guru told us to dance it out. Love it. Dead Girls Don't Cry has said, we are gorgeous, ladies. Vogue it out. Grease Rags Clothing Company said this is one of their top 10 favorite films of all time. Uniquely Madison's says, hello, little smoochy duck. We have Cora from Vintage or Tacky saying, hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Cora, I just gave you an accent, so there you go. Oh, because I'm not going to lie, because we had that discussion before about, the accent that everybody put on during the 40s, and I was actually practicing it.
Oh.
So, Cora, we're going to give you that accent.
I want that accent just like my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe it was esophageal cancer. Tisk tisk, says Emily. The boat career. Cora says she's fine with the accent, so there you go.
Good.
We have bequeathed you, my dear.
I feel like sometimes we should just like reenact these instead of just talking about it.
Maybe we will.
Like throw mud at myself.
Well, we're gonna have to all pick voices and do the whole movie review.
For this one, I would have taken Bogey drunkenly singing his pirate song or whatever it was on the ship.
I think I would be him imitating the animals.
When he's over the side.
That's like the worst part of the whole thing.
Oh, God. Oh, God. How fun if I did an accent, it would be looked at as crazy. No, never. At least if people don't know you, then they don't know. They would totally, Grease Rags Clothing Company says they would totally read apart if we reenacted something. Excellent. All right, so first off, and this includes all you guys, in the comment section below, we are going around the round, whatever this is, and we're going to find out whether you like the movie or not. So let me know. I know we can be kind of scandalous with this sometimes with our comments. And I have been saved with the 10,000 fleas in my armpits. Was it fleas?
Please.
Did you get that figured out?
Because I think, was it Mona that cursed me? I can't remember.
Can't remember who it was.
I can't remember who it was. I think I might be curse free tonight, but I don't know about the other. Yes, fleas, Mona says.
Okay.
All right, so tonight, why don't we go ahead and start with JL? What did you think of the movie?
I loved it. I thought it was a good mixture of like suspense adventure and mixed in with like obvious comedy, like especially in the opening when they're in church and they're trying to sing like this Bible hymn and the natives are literally just like making noise. and they're just like not gonna give it up. They're gonna go through this whole hymn, and they're just sitting there like, ha ha.
With the confused looks on their faces.
You love the one guy that had the hymnal, like he was reading it real hard, but
Or like those two kids that were sitting there and they're like looking at each other and looking at the book like, what are we supposed to do with this?
they're like, obvious it's Sunday again.
It's the day we go into that house and break like goats.
And the crazy lady sings super off key. It's either up here or down here. Like, there's no in between. It's just. So I thought that was really good because it was kind of like a heavy subject matter that the movie was about. You know, they're trying to leave from the Germans. It's the beginning of World War I. So I thought it was nice to kind of add those elements of humor into it, you know, just trying to make the best of this insane situation that they found themselves in.
agreed.
Sorry, it's distracted. Nicole says Heather is totally rocking the purple hair.
Okay. Yeah. I liked it. I have to say those were some of my favorite parts too, were like the church bits or the bits where she was like very the only thing I could think of to describe her was like onward Christian soldier. Like she was very much like this very like straight, like I loved that about her. And also you can totally see her with the like the high society mentality of put the smile on, like it's gonna be fine, and it's like not at all fine. So I loved those moments. I think overall, I liked it. It's not my favorite film, but I do, and I like it, and I enjoy them together, but the story for me is not, I don't know. You have to, like, suspend a little bit of belief. But yeah, I like the two of them together for sure, and then I love the way that she played Rosie. Just made me giggle. So, yeah, that's kind of overall, I guess, how I feel about it. Also, side note, I guess the first time that I watched the movie, I didn't pick up that it was World War One, and this is way back, and so I always thought she was dressed so strangely. I thought, like,
you woman, it's the 50s.
Yeah, well, and I guess I just assumed that since she was in Africa, maybe like it hadn't caught up. Like maybe she had left before. I don't know, but it totally this time around I was like, oh, it's World War One. This is all making way more sense. So yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts on everything.
Excellent. Real quick before I comment, Erin asked whether the movie was on Netflix. Honestly, we all think we were on a different plane because originally when we decided on this movie, we're pretty sure it was on Netflix, but when we all went to watch it, we couldn't find it on Netflix. So I ended up having to get it off of iTunes. I think JL got it from, what was it, Voodoo?
Called Voodoo. It's VUDU. It's you rent movies online. They start at like $2.99. So it's actually a really great service. Going forward, if you can't find it, they've got like thousands.
They've got the long trailer.
They have the long trailer, so that's coming up soon.
I can't find that anywhere.
I just bought it. I'm excited.
I'm totally watching that tonight, by the way.
I almost did beforehand, and I thought I should probably wait until I talked about this one before I watched another one. Sorry. I'm going to try headphones. I think I can hear you better.
Okay. Emily says, haha, yes, my aunt is that lady in church, always in the highest register. Her? She's that kid looking around at what everybody else is doing.
Does anyone else think this is weird?
Well, you know, okay, side note, when my mom, bless her soul, cannot carry a tune at all. So sometimes when we're in church, like on days that she can actually, you know, read the display, she sings like as loud as she can because she can't hear herself, right? not only is it completely off key, but she's always like either a couple words ahead or a couple words behind. Like everybody's like, amen, and she's like, and the Lord. And then it gets really quiet, and I can't sing because I'm trying to not laugh so hard. But I honestly, I'm not going to lie, it's one of my favorite things in the world, but I can't keep it together in church when she does that. Oh, okay, sorry about that.
You just let her do her thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Erin says, love your hair, Heather. She did her hair purple, but it looks pink now, and there is nothing wrong with pink.
Not at all. I'm still pink back here. Just pure laziness, though.
Uniquely Madison said that she thought it was funny that Bogey hated America. Not a Freudian slip. He hated Africa immediately and was miserable, but Katharine Hepburn adored it, calling it utterly divine.
I can totally see her like fitting right in and just being enamored with everything and really enjoying it, even though I'm sure it was a horrible experience.
Oh, it was. Because apparently almost every crew member had dysentery, and during a lot of that scenes, even that scene of her playing at the piano in the church, they had a bucket next to her so she could, like,
just in case.
Just in case. But the only people to not get sick were Bogey and Houston, because they were not drinking the water. They like smart men, they were drinking the whiskey.
Drink the liquor. Sure, that also helps with bugs.
Yeah. Emily had to. Emily's YouTubes went out. Phew, she's back. Body Image Guru says she has never seen it. Sounds like she must now, and she will hear all our voices when she watches it. Oh, excellent.
Sorry.
No, there isn't, Jennifer. I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not sure. Oh, the pink. Sometimes the comments come after, and I have a hard time remembering. The vintage kitten, Yolanda's here. She's home from work.
Yay!
Oh, a glam Jane Goodall. Yeah, absolutely. So did I like African Queen?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But I will tell you, one of my all-time favorite movie, and you guys might laugh at me, but is Romancing the Stone.
That one's so good.
And to me, this was like a period version that, obviously, this came first, not to say that it didn't, but it was almost like a period version of it, so they were kind of along the same lines of this adventure of two very opposite people who end up, like, finding their way together. And I really liked that, and I really liked, once again, that it was such a strong female character that was in the lead, and but without each other. Milking cows now, guys.
I know. There's other commentary I could make, but I'm just gonna.
Cows jail.
League of Decency would like explode.
I can't afford those fines.
Yeah.
It's a good thing Emily only finds us in cupcakes, but they couldn't. Neither one of them would have been complete without the other half on this journey. She said it to him on numerous occasions, like, I couldn't have done this without you. Mm-hmm. You were the one that welded it. You were the one that did a lot of those things that she brainstormed up, but he would have sat in a cove and waited for everything to pass and gotten drunk doing it, because without her, he was like he didn't have any steam. You know what I mean? He was the African queen just kind of sitting there, but without him, she couldn't see her ideas to completion. So I
You know what
absolutely.
I really liked about that was that he actually would give her credit for stuff, for things, for the ideas, and I thought that was kind of an interesting. Not only they were older, which is pretty cool to have two like sole characters in a film that are older, and then but then also that he actually would give her credit for her ideas and really put it all on her, like this was all on you, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I do have to say I was utterly charmed by Hepburn from the go, from that moment that she sat on the porch and he was like doing that long walk and the tears were in her eyes and she kept doing the, you know, it's with her it's just those subtle little things that just make what she's doing so real and so human, and so she had me from the go. The only thing that probably kind of got me, especially at the beginning of the movie, was there was so many yes, miss. Uh, can I get you tea, miss? Oh yes, Mister
Walnut.
Allnut. It made me almost all nutty.
I agree. Well, I kept thinking, what's her name? Like, it took half the movie for me to figure
Hmm.
out what her name was.
and and I understand like why that was, because during that time period they would have been on really really formal terms, but every damn sentence, I mean, come on. And I think that, I don't know if that was a book thing or if that was a screenwriting thing, that they just kind of pushed it a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
um but I love the progression of their relationship. Yeah, I really really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was almost thinking maybe some of that yes, miss, and this miss, and Mr. That. Also on his part, maybe because he felt like he was like a lower class
Mm-hmm.
than she was.
Mm-hmm.
So especially during that time, like if someone was, wealthier or just in a higher station in life
Yeah.
than you were very formal with them.
Right.
Right.
She was a mature single woman in the ministry and God's work, and he was like, a dirty ratty broken down boat captain. So,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't in any position to even ask her first name until apparently after something something on the boat one day.
Well, and it was kind of neat because it wasn't like he swooped in to save her. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was like, well, this is what we have to do now. So it wasn't like he was this big hero that came in. So that was something kind of different, I guess, about their relationship. So yeah.
I agree. Mona says that don't boo me and don't worry, we won't. But the funniest thing she found about the movie was Bogey imitating the hippos, and as Heather already said, that was her. And quite honestly, I am crazy about hippos, and every time I see one, I actually yell, "Hippo!" Because they're so adorable. Their little ears peeking up out of the water. But
They
don't
are pretty
touch
cute.
one because it will eat you.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
not
So unfortunate.
Pretty
nice.
on the outside, bitchy on the inside. Yolanda says she hasn't seen the movie in ages and didn't get a chance to watch it this week. That's okay, girl. You can. Um, Cora says she's going to watch it on Amazon after this. Yeah, we're convincing people to watch it, so that's pretty good. And Mona says the formality was pretty bad at the beginning, but what really drove her insane was the, oh dear, oh dear. Because at the beginning, yeah, the relationship with her brother, that was a little weird,
I
right?
thought that too. Like at the end, she grabs his face. I don't know. I don't have a brother, but I don't think I'd do that.
And
I
I feel like in the book there was probably a lot.
Before that.
Sorry, Uniquely Madison says she's gone on search of a hippo. Don't do it!
Don't poke it.
It will eat your face!
just
But
walk along the water's edge and one will just jump right out and take you back into the water.
But I feel like in the book, it probably went a lot more in depth on the whole, like, oh dear, I'm a spinster and I had to go on mission with my brother for 10 years. Because obviously when he's sick, he says that thing about her being like the most homely of all of them. And you can see that kind of hits her, but I feel like it was probably rushed because the movie, I think, did run like almost 2 hours, I think the run was, which is not common for that period. Most movies ran around an hour and a half. So I feel like maybe they shortened it for that. But I think, yes, creepy brother syndrome, Mona says. But I think like the person they cast as well added to,
Yeah,
I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think I feel like though if you watch movies that are supposed to be set more like during this time period, you kind of notice that kind of like weird, like closer relationship between siblings. And I think this was maybe sort of coming off a time where like marrying a cousin or a second cousin wasn't really that uncommon. So I think family relationships were a little bit different. So that may have been like that. But I mean, it was obvious that he was probably like, we don't know the rest of their family situation, but he's like, well, I gotta take my spinster sister with me because she and you were getting married, so let's go to Africa and save the savages.
And the only reason why he went is because he failed his tests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He probably, in his mind, he's probably like, I have to take care of her. And in her mind, she's like, he failed his test, so I need to go and take care of him because he's going alone. So it may have been sort of the
A
way
codependent relationship.
But I feel like relationships were a little bit like weirder, a little
I agree.
more than we're used to in the context of that time period.
I agree.
Great.
I mean, look at Downton Abbey. You know, the first season they were trying to marry Mary off to her cousin.
Yeah, like
That's just what happened.
That's just what happened.
And on that note, come on. How about those hippos?
I can talk. Don't get me started on the hippos.
so is that your favorite part in Fantasia, is the hippo part?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like,
I've been, because in the Lincoln Park Zoo they have like a little pygmy hippo, and it very rarely comes out when people are actually there. And one time when he was there, like all the little kids, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm an adult, I can't push in front of him, damn it. Yeah.
Like children flying.
And then so I like stood off to the other side and like tried to get the hippo to come to me just with my powers of my mind. Not gonna lie.
Are you a hippo whisperer?
Yeah, it worked. Then all the kids rushed over to my side again. Adulting is hard some days. One of my favorite one of my favorite scenes. We know that, Heather, your favorite scene so far was the hippo incident, and Bowie imitating the hippos. One of my favorites was drunken Bogie singing on the boat, but also Hepburn trying to get back into the boat.
yeah.
Like she's at the back of it, and then you just see like her legs.
Her foot.
That would have been me. I kept thinking in that situation, that would have been me. Like, I would have been like...
She goes around the side of it.
Down with my feet in the air, trying to put my feet on and see if I could crawl up and drown.
Yeah, because that's how it would happen. So, guys, let us know in the comments what your favorite scene of the movie was. And JL, what about you? What would have been your favorite?
There was a few, but I think one of them that kind of stuck with me because I thought it was kind of funny, and I felt like it's kind of where you saw her character like question her like Christian morals, I guess, a little bit, was when he starts pulling out like the bottle of booze and she's just looking at it. You can sort of see like her mouth is watering and she's wondering like, I'm kind of curious to like try this, but I'm a missionary. Like I don't, it was sort of like you could see that was going through her head. So it's sort of like the little cracks of, like what was to come. Like she's
Hmm.
sort of starting to shed that good missionary, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, shaking it off.
Yeah.
I think
Like,
that's interesting.
like went in front of her face and she's just like
I kind of thought it was interesting that that was part of her character, the whole, like, when she was, like, pouring out his alcohol and everything. One, because of the fact that that John Huston and Bogey only drank liquor on the actual film set, but then also because of her relationship with Spencer Tracy and his alcoholism. So I wondered how much of that, like, was pulled into her character, just because of that relationship, because she loathed the alcoholism that basically took him from her. So I wondered how much of that she carried into her character.
You would have to think, I would think that that scene where she's like pouring out the alcohol, I do have to say my little hippie heart was like, don't throw the bottles in the water! You know.
I thought that too.
I was like, the Germans are gonna find you from all these bottles in the water, lady. What are you doing? It wasn't even like about the trash. It was like, you're leaving a trail behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was a nice little trail.
Mm-hmm.
She probably, you have to imagine she took a little bit of satisfaction of being like, yeah, I wish I
Mm-hmm.
could do this. Let's see. Body Image Guru says the high-pitched voice really brings me into the movie. Mona says, oh no, you're muddying the water in the Hollywood gene pool with those comments. I think those were from a little while ago. Um, and Uniquely Madison says hippo telepathy is, maybe that's how she's planning on poking a hippo. Um, don't poke the hippo. And Erin says when we were describing her getting onto the boat, she said it's like seeing her get out of bed.
Basically, it's me getting out of a pool at any point in my life.
Yeah. Um, question. Do you think that after they smooched and then the next morning she brought him breakfast in bed, do you think her morals slipped that far? JL, we'll start with you.
Um, I'm gonna say yes. Because I don't. He's like, what's your first name? And I honestly feel like he kind of kept going on with dear and mister had he not flipped his pickle. However, when you get to that point, you kind of need to know the person's first name. Like, it's just, I mean, you have to throw formalities out the door at that point. Like, I mean, you can't tell me that they were like, smooching is good enough for now. They could die. You know, if she was not gonna die in that situation. So if they were gonna die, she was gonna know it all.
Maybe that's why her prayer at the end about judging them on their love was so sincere.
And why he was asking the German captain or whatever to please marry them before they die.
So they didn't have to stand before the League of Decency for all of eternity.
Yep.
I just have to wonder, like, when they went down the rapids and she's like, oh my! Like, she was all, like, titillated by it.
She's
I'm like, I've
ready.
never felt that way except for when my brother's done a salmon or two. Oh my! If she's not that way about rapids, what does she think about the rapids in the boat?
Yeah.
My lord! My brother's never had a salmon like that.
I know.
We hope.
The way he was like, there was like a space for her next to him. The way he was laying in the bottom of the boat, like it's obvious Or a little something,
Something
something going
happened.
on.
Something happened.
I don't believe that they just stopped at smooching and be like, it's good enough.
Well, and I feel like she really did, like, you just saw her more and more come out of her shell,
Yeah.
and more become more confident in her decisions, her just everything that she was doing. I can very much see her almost in a sense like being logical about it and being like, well, yeah, like you said, like, we could die at any moment, you know. Why not just embrace what life has put before me and boom, chicka, wow, wow.
She's like, I like the dirty old kid.
Mona says that no brainer. She could keep her hands off of Oh Dear after that. Yolanda says that yes, they had a shag. Cora says Mona says you just have to wonder if she was singing off key in the boat.
Oh God.
And she also says that she hears the League of Nations has now introduced fleas into their corporal punishment. Mona also says, out of her shell, man, she switched gears in mid-shift. Spiral 73 just tuned in, so this is totally off topic, but I want several of the top that you're wearing. Jen, do you sell them? These? This is Kohl's. Elle did a retro-inspired line, so they've got a couple of these out. Just skirts. So if you need a skirt to go with a top like this, it's on Starlet.com. Okay, let's see where we. Oh, okay, ooh, we're getting close to 10, so that means ding, ding, ding. It is time for the question everybody hates, and this is going to be a really hard one. Look at Heather.
I'm already mad about it.
I didn't think that question could apply to me.
I will say, because of the small cast in this, I will open it up to larger small roles. So the
Brother.
the boat. We'll say the brother, the boat, Catherine, Bogey. I don't think we can count the Germans.
You're stupid.
Okay, so you have 4 people to choose from.
Heather goes first this time because you got time.
Oh, and for those of you that don't know what the question is, what one person could this movie do without? Could have been replaced by somebody else and still been a good movie. And 2, who could this movie absolutely not have been done without?
I always like to make it hard on myself too. Honestly, I don't really enjoy Humphrey Bogart. Just in general, and his beard.
Fleas are coming your way.
I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to skirt around that issue. And the beard really did me in. So I would have preferred Paul Newman. I'll just throw that out there. But because here's the thing, even though the brother was creepy, I think that he probably was pretty accurate to his character. So I'm going to say I could have lived without Buffy. And I couldn't live without Catherine. I think this was her, it was made for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to accept that answer, seeing as how you threw Paul Newman at me.
Just saying.
I'm sorry, but I will never say no to a Newman. Yeah.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to agree. I feel like Catherine was sort of born for this role. I think she did an exceptional job with it, and her character was so believable, and the progression of her character was so believable. And honestly, I don't really want to see anybody else be Rosie except for her. Like that's, like just anybody else's voice, it's just like all of it. Like that's her character. That's hard because I don't know. I also agree with you. I think like the actor that played her brother did a really good job with that character. I'm trying to think of if it wasn't Bogey, like who I could see in that role, and I'm just trying to think of like people that I think of. I don't know if they would be the right age because I think age is a lot of it. Because I'm sort of thinking like Marlon Brando in his 50s.
That's who I was thinking of.
That was my second pick.
Like I could yell with that, and if I was Rosie,
much preferred.
I'd be like, here you go, take my nail. So even though I love Humphrey Bogart and I love the two of them together in this role, I guess like, but I don't know. Then I'm like, was Marlon Brando, was he that old? Because then I'm like, that kind of like makes it hard. Like if you're trying to like swap, I don't know, time-wise, if that would have been his age bracket, but I don't know. Twisting my arm, that's what I would say.
So you agree with me?
It's not that I agree with you that I don't like him in the movie, or that I don't like him because I actually like I adore Bogey. Like he's one of my favorite like male actors from like the 40s on. But I just think like if you were to replace a character, but it would be there's a select few, and I don't know if they would be in the right age bracket. So there's that factor for me,
I'm
like,
with you.
Marlon Brando would have been like in the right age bracket at that time for sure. That I'd be like, yeah, like you could, try and put him in there and see how things go. But it may have changed the whole tone of the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
It may have not been the same. So
I think it may not have been as equal a playing level between the two characters. Like he may have been too much masculine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right. Since everybody has gone really hard, I'm not going to wimp out on this. I'm not going to do the brother. But yes, I agree. I could not have done this movie without my beloved Catherine. And as much as I love Bogey, and I think he did do phenomenally well with this, obviously got an Oscar for it. I would say if I had to replace him, think about this one. Clark Gable.
Oh, yes.
Like a dashing, seafaring.
Yeah.
I feel like it probably would have never happened because of Gone with the Wind. He kind of already plays that roguish type,
But he also played the character that he played in The Misfits with Marilyn Monroe. Was very kind of like that kind of rugged sort of, I could see him, less gentlemanly character.
Yeah.
On with the Wind. So yeah, that's actually a good one.
I agree.
That could potentially work.
Because I guess the original character was written to be Cockney, which I think is what makes it even more of a class difference. Like I think it was JL was talking about earlier, and you would have been able to tell like right off the bat.
If Dick Van Dyke had been there.
She would have rolled right over him. Just shut your pie hole and do what it tells you.
Not thinking because she had the umbrella, and now it's Mary Poppins' umbrella.
I'm just saying, there's some parallels there with the animal.
Oh, good Lord. I like it. All right, catching up on comments. Yolanda said she could picture Brando. Uniquely Madison said she'd love to see our opinion on We're No Angels or Angel on My Shoulder for movie suggestions. I love this. Aaron says, have you already done that one movie? I can't think of it. Black and white movie, man and woman, woman's freaking out, and they're in a cemetery, and the guy says, they're coming for you. Mary? And yes, that is Night of the Living Dead. But I think it's Karen, though, right? They're coming for you.
Karen?
Yeah. They're coming to get you. No, I can't think of the name.
I don't
know. Someone,
I've seen it.
Google us. Create a deliberate life. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe a scruffy Melvin Douglas. I'm going to Google that real quick.
Oh, whoops.
Melvin Douglas, scruffy. To which Google hears it as 10 Douglas. I really think voice to text apps need to understand when you say things not like a robot.
Agreed. Mine pulled up some sort of rapper.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That could work.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Scruff that up a bit. I'm down with that. Aaron says, some help I am, LOL. But no, that is, you know what though? Reading that, the whole thing played out in my head. I absolutely saw that movie. I did that with See No Evil, which I saw when I was young, and I was basically telling my friend, like, I've been trying to find out this movie, and I described, like, almost verbatim, like, the sweater the woman was wearing, everything about it, couldn't remember the name of the movie. And I'm like, she's blind, she can't see, there's evil in the house, and yeah.
I think it might have been Karen. Sorry.
Okay, excellent. Hey, Jen, did you know that Clark Gable wore wooden dentures? Ew. I would take his teeth out and smooch him anyway. Chorus swooning for Clark as well. Gertie Green Thumb. Hey, Gertie, thanks for coming by. What about Jimmy Stewart? Do we think he would be
I can't deal with his voice.
I think he's a little too smooth.
Oh, you're getting so many fleas tonight.
I know. I'm already itching. I like him.
Oh. I wonder if I'm curious because I wonder if it's in his range.
Mm-hmm.
Has Jimmy Stewart ever played? He has played a bad guy.
Surely.
Like earlier in his career, I know he's played some.
Yeah, I don't.
What was that? Well, didn't we just watch him? Wasn't he in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't remember now. Jail usually finishes my thoughts, but she's off her game tonight, people. You get half sentences from me tonight. Aaron says we should do Night of the Living Dead, and Aaron says Clark. Why I order. Uniquely Madison said Night of the Living Dead scared her so bad.
See, I'm afraid we can't do that one.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Afraid of scary movies.
What was that? Yeah, what was the one scary movie that we did?
It wasn't that scary.
Frankenstein. Creature.
Creature.
So that's where our scary levels are here for Heather.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to work her up to Night of the Living Dead. I don't think we can.
I've seen a little bit of it. I don't. You guys have fun that month.
She's like, I'm not coming to that movie night.
I have real enough nightmares as it is.
Mona says, now I'm thinking of Sweeping in Time. Sweeping or sleeping? Because I'm not finding anything for sweeping. Have you thought about doing this kind of chat focusing on vintage actor, actresses' careers? We have not. That is an interesting thought. Maybe we could do like a 3-movie. That's a good idea. We will think about that. I like it. Aaron says YouTube went out. Damn you, YouTube. Barbara! Thank you, Amber. Thank you.
Was it Barbara?
Yes, it was Barbara. Courtney says we have either you, me, or Heather. She has the same phone case as one of us.
Maybe you. I don't think I've shown mine.
Oh, is that a pineapple?
It's a pineapple.
Oh, that's so cute.
Are
Mona says, you'd be so bad. Take out his dentures. Oh, Tiffany says Robert Mitchum.
Ooh.
That's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Amy says Jimmy Stewart wouldn't be mean enough. Yeah, it'd be hard to take him. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't see him yelling at her drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Emily says handsome, yes, but Clark had terrible halitosis, so no smooches for me. That's why we made breath mints.
But in Africa, that might have gotten real bad.
Poor Carol Lombard. Penny Serenade would be good.
No, we haven't done Penny Serenade.
I don't think I've seen it. Oh, Dick Van... Mona says Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins, Sweep in Time, the Chimney Song. Now that makes more sense. Because that was probably came through when we were talking about Dick Van Dyke. What about Thin Man? Oh, I love the Thin Man movies.
Yes.
I have watched all of them.
Those are good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that it inspired one of my favorite podcasts, which is the Thrilling Adventure Hour? They do Beyond Belief, which is it's like old time radio. But if you've never listened, if you like podcasts, please listen to it. You'll love it. Essentially, it's two like wealthy socialites. Words are hard for me today. Wealthy socialites who are drunkards. And they see ghosts and that kind of thing, and they solve like supernatural stuff. And it was all like inspired by Thin Man, the Thin Man shows, the relationships between the two characters.
It's funny.
Oh, hey, Betsy Wetsy. Another vote for Thin Man. Another vote for Thin Man. And Mona says Alan Ladd for the part. Maybe. So I think Heather maybe didn't do so bad. I'm thinking maybe
Someone else might have done it.
our beloved Bogey might be able to be done by somebody else. This is what I think of when I think of that. Oh, that is his young days. But he does get a little. I don't know how old he would have been at that time. But I could see him pulling off a sea captain-y kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The podcast was called The Thrilling Adventure Hour. They actually do quite a number of series on it. So the show that I love the most is Beyond Belief. They also do Sparks, Nevada, Marshall on Mars.
That's funny. I've heard that one before.
Yes.
So it's absolutely delightful. All right, so it is 10:01. Go around the table real quick and through the comments. Any last-minute thoughts about the movie? Oh, wait. One more thing we got to talk about, though, and I forgot to write this down. But what did you guys think about the ending? Not to spoil it for anybody. Don't you think it was a little Deus Ex Machina with the whole, like, torpedo sitting in the water just like that? What did you guys think about that?
I wish that it would have been more intentional. Like, I wish they would have played more of a part in finishing it out, I think. That was my That was the downfall for me, I think, was the end.
Yeah, it felt a little like rushed because it was a longer movie.
Hmm.
So they had to figure out some way to
Wrap it up.
wrap it up,
Yeah.
not to give it away for anybody who hasn't seen it before. Yeah, almost a little bit forgettable because I remember like we sat down and we started and I thought to myself, how did it end
Hmm.
exactly? 'Cause I know I sat there and watched it. So that was kind of the only thing for me. I felt like it did so well progressing because like things would happen and you thought, oh man, like they're not going to make it, and then like something, and then they get through, and then the next point, like oh man, they're not going to make it, and then it was sort of like the ending. The movie is it's getting close to the end, and I'm thinking this feels like it could go on for a lot longer because of the last situation that they're in, and then it was just sort of
Throwaway, sort of. I
yeah.
think the best thing about the ending was the execution. He's like, I now pronounce you, and then he's like, proceed with the execution. Like that
Yeah.
should have just been the end for me, because I forget everything beyond.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, well, I know like he's like marry us and they're gonna like execute them, and then I was like, but what happened?
Hmm.
So, but then I was like, oh yeah, I guess they were in the water, but why? So I don't, yeah, I sort of feel like it was a little like, why were they taking them out to sea to execute them? It's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. What's going on? Like, I don't understand. So yeah, that was kind of the only thing for me. I mean,
Yeah, when I think like about the movie, like the parts that stand out to me are like their relationship parts.
yeah.
Like the hippos, the drunk singing, oh the leeches. I couldn't even watch. I'm sorry. I literally went like this because I can't stand
The
leeches.
the
Can't stand them.
I
the
say that all the time
mosquitoes,
now.
the mosquitoes, that would have got me. I was like, I am on board with Catherine. I'm right there with you, sister. But the mosquito scene, I would have been like, hell no, I would have jumped in and taken my chances with the crocodiles, like and hippo. Like it just no. Like I don't do bugs, like at all,
I
ever.
I love that that was like her biggest breakdown too, was that scene when she was under the blanket. She was like, I don't know what happened.
Because that's where I would have broken down too. I'd have been like, no, 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 no,
So
no.
I think it could have ended like, and I'm actually interested to read the book now, because I wonder if the ending was different because I think were they trying to appease the Legion of Decency by
Yeah, 'cause
marrying them off at the end,
I
right?
think they have three different endings that they were trying to choose from anyway. So maybe they just went with the safest route to appease the cohabitation problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
Because I mean, I get like they wanted to do the whole like bogeys, like, oh, I loved her so much, go ahead and hang me, she's dead, you know. But you could have easily accomplished that, like they blow up the boat, and then like in the ensuing chaos, they get separated, and then oh no, they
and then,
die. So you
mhm,
could still have that without having this like just bizarre ending to it. So yeah, yeah,
agreed.
Mhm.
yes, I believe it. Yes, it is the same title, Amy. All right, so we got a lot of people there heading off to make dinner for people. A lot of talk about how creepy awesome the Night of the Living Dead is. So, for the reason that we will never get Heather to watch it. We're coming for you, Heather. She's
That's
like,
just
stop it, I will hang up.
now. Just text Jen all night.
I
Not
will.
our
I'm
group,
still awake.
not on our group text chat. Just text
Just her.
Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. That's okay. You'll probably be texting somebody else because that's that kind of day. Because that's what I did to these two today. I sent them. I'm like, presenting your your hotel for New Orleans.
I know. I was
and how much it was going to cost and everything else.
We're going on a trip, guy.
no, I was like, wait, I thought we were going to Nashville. Confused.
So confused.
I was like,
Neither
no,
one of them responded like, I don't know, I guess maybe if she wants to send me to New Orleans, I'll go, but no, I'm not going to pay her.
Do you take PayPal?
I do. All right, so as always, please come back out and join us next month. We do this the second Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Central Time, and we typically announce the movie around a week before. We're trying to get a little bit better with that on our social media, so go ahead and follow us, How to Be Fancy, Modern Retro Gal, A Vintage Vanity on all the social medias. And if you don't follow Cora from Vintage or Tacky, well, then you're just missing out. So go follow her, too, as well, as long as we're telling you guys to do stuff.
I know, because it's like a celebrity.
I know!
Like,
I didn't do, like, my makeup right tonight.
I know, like this piece of hair is falling down.
awesome. Still in
We have a YouTube celebrity in our midst.
Good thing I did put makeup on. They forget it. Everybody's just going to see me on that trail today.
Yeah, forget about it.
Mildred Pierce was on today before she went to work. Joan Crawford, love. We need to do a Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
And Cora says, oh, shush. Oh, not until we make you blush. That's our goal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a slab kebab in my jammies. Y'all look glam. See, even beauty gurus take off their makeup some days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, guys, so I hope you guys have an amazing night. Thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with us, because you make us laugh and you make this whole thing better. So thank you guys so much for all your support. And if you have any suggestions for movies, put them on any of our social media, because as you guys know, all the lovely comments from our conversation here will not make the YouTube channel when it posts up on that. But if you miss part of it, it will be up on the YouTube channel shortly, and you'll be able to go back and watch all, so you can get all the in-jokes. So, all right, if you guys, I don't know, Heather, Jail, if you want to say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys.
I have purple hands.
Do the palms match the curtain? She's doing this. We'll do it this way. Bye! Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, guys.